on target for today is that I can compare and contrast two characters from Seed Folks. Alright, so we're going to be reading two chapters from Seed Folks today. Alright, I want to see if you guys can guess what chapters. Okay, our first chapter we're going to be reading, the very first chapter of Seed Folks. A young girl, she plants some lima beans in the garden that she started. Who can take a guess? Lewis? Yeah, nice. So we're going to be reading Kim. The second character we're going to be reading about today. She's in the garden, very, very nosy, likes to look out her window. She's on the older side. And she makes sure that someone's beans grow. Jace? Yeah, okay. Alright, so we're going to be talking about the differences and the similarities between these two characters today. Alright, differences meaning things that are different between them, right? Another word we can use for differences is contrast, okay? We're going to be finding the contrast of these two characters, okay? The other thing we're going to be doing is finding the similarities or the similar things between these two characters, okay? Another word for similarity is comparing, okay? So what we're going to do first is I'm going to give you guys Venn diagrams. It's this up here. Everyone's going to get a Venn diagram. Okay. Alright, so we need to fill in our diagrams. So just for your guys' information, some of you have them a little bit filled in already. But for the rest of you, we're going to be up here. As you guys can see, we will have two circles, right? One circle and two. The middle here, they collide, right? They join together, alright? So the first thing we're going to label, who did we say? Who can raise their hand and tell me the characters that we're going to be comparing and contrasting today? Kim, yep. Amir, you want to give me another one? Anna. Kim and Anna. So the first thing we're going to label, Kim. And then our other circle, Anna. So some of you just, I had another heads up, already have this filled in, so you just got to hang tight and look for the next thing you got to write. Kim and Anna above your two circles. Alright? So we're going to be reading about Kim and reading about Anna. In this circle under Kim, and in this circle under Anna, these are the differences that we're going to be talking about, okay? So you're going to take your pencil and you're going to write different next to each circle on the sides. Different. And on the other side, different. Go ahead and write different. Give them tickets to those writing down. Alright, in the middle where these two circles join or come together, that's where we're going to talk about the similarities between Kim and Anna. Okay? So underneath where the circles collide or come together, you're going to write same. Yeah. Go ahead and write same. Yep, right below it. All right. Alright, so today I'm going to be reading to you guys Kim's chapter and Anna's chapter. But we're going to split the class a little bit in half. Some of you are going to get Kim's chapter and some of you are going to get Anna's chapter. Okay? We're all going to listen though. Alright, so I'm going to hand those out. Alright, did everyone get one? No! Alright, so everyone should have either Kim or Anna's chapter, and you do have this little thing on the back that I'm going to talk about in a minute. Okay? So, I'm going to read now to you guys Kim's chapter. For those of you who have Kim, okay, go ahead and look if you have Kim. In your Venn diagram sheet, under Kim, okay, as I read, you're going to write down all the things you notice about Kim, okay? This could be her physical characteristics, could be her character traits, her feelings, her actions, whatever you notice about Kim. For those of you who have Anna, you're just going to listen, because we're going to have a little discussion about it after, right? And you're going to get a chance to do it with Anna after. All right? Give me a nice thumbs up if you're ready for me to start reading. So we're reading Kim's chapter. All right? And those of you who have the text in front of you, you can follow along. You can also use it for spelling if you want to write something down. All right? So here's Kim's chapter. I stood before our family altar. It was dawn. No one else in the apartment was awake. I stared at my father's photograph, his thin face, stern lips lashed tight, his eyes peering permanently to the right. I was 9 years old, and I still hoped that perhaps his eyes might move, might notice me. The candles and the incense sticks, lit the day before to mark his death anniversary, had burned out. The rice and meat offered him were gone. After the evening feast past midnight, I had been wakened by the mother's crying. My older sisters had joined in. My own tears had then come as well, but for a different reason. I turned from the altar, tiptoed to the kitchen, and quietly drew a spoon from a jar. I filled my lunch thermos with water and reached into our jar of dried lima beans. Then I walked outside to the street. The sidewalk was completely empty. It was Sunday, early in April. An icy wind teetered trash cans and turned my cheeks to marble. In Vietnam, we had no weather like that. Here in Cleveland, people called it spring. I walked half a block, then crossed the street and reached the vacant lot. I stood tall and scouted. No one was sleeping on the old couch in the middle. I'd never entered the lot before or wanted to. I did so now, picking my way between tires and trash bags. I nearly stepped on 2 rats gnawing and froze. Then I told myself I must show my bravery. I continued farther and chose a spot far from the sidewalk and hidden from view by a rusty refrigerator. I had to keep my project safe. I took out my spoon and began to dig. The snow had melted, but the ground was hard. After much work, I finished one hole, then a second, then a third. I thought about how my mother and sisters remembered my father, how they knew his face was every angle and held in their fingers the feel of his hands. I had no such memories to cry over. I'd been born 8 months after he died. Worse, he had no memories of me. When his spirit hovered over our altar and didn't even know who I was, I dug 6 holes. All his life in Vietnam, my father had been a farmer. Here, our apartment house had no yard. But in that vacant lot, he would see me. He would watch my beans break ground and spread and would notice with pleasure their pods growing plump. He would see my patience and my hard work. I would show him that I could raise plants as he had. I would show him that I was his daughter. My class had sprouted lima beans in paper cups the year before. I now placed a bean in each of the holes. I covered them up, pressing the soil down firmly with my fingertips. I opened my thermos and watered them all. I vowed to myself that those beans would thrive. All right, so those of you who had Kim, make sure you jotted a few things down that you noticed. Okay, that's okay. We're going to discuss a little bit. So if you only got a couple things, don't worry. All right. So jot a few more things down, and now we're going to move to Anna. So those of you who have Anna, all right, check and see if you have Anna. You are now going to, on the other side of the Venn diagram where it says Anna, that's where you are going to now write things that you notice, okay? This could be Anna's actions, her thoughts, her feelings, right? Her character traits, her physical characteristics, right? All right, so now we're looking, Jeffrey, just so you know, just came in, we're going to read Anna now. We're going to write down all the things we noticed about Anna.
Wait, we did Kim?
Yeah, sit down, okay? You don't have Kim, so we're going to fill those in later, okay? All right, we're moving on to Anna. Follow along if you have it, and we're jotting those things down we notice. Those of you who had just had Kim, just going to sit tight and write a few more things down that you meant to write. Okay, this is Anna. I do love to sit and look out the window. Why do I need TV when I have 48 apartment windows to watch across the vacant lot and a silver lake of Erie? I've seen history out this window. So much I was 4 when we moved here in 1919. The fruit sellers, carts, and coal wagons were pulled down the street by horses back then. I used to stand just here and watch the coal brought up the handsome lad from Groza. The village my parents were born in, Gibbs Street, Jeffrey, was mainly Romanians back then. It was adio, goodbye, in all the shops when you left. Then the Romanians started leaving. They weren't the first or the last. This has always been a working class neighborhood. It's like a cheap hotel. You stay until you've got enough money to leave. A lot of Slovaks and Italians moved in next. Then Negro families in the Depression. Gibbs Street became the line between the blacks and the whites, like a border between countries. I watched it happen through this very window. I lived over in Cleveland Heights for 18 years. Then I moved back in to take care of my parents. Jeffrey, sit down, bud. That border moved too. Most all the whites left. Then the steel mills and the factories closed and everybody left, like rats. Buildings abandoned, men with no work, drinking from 9 to 5, instead down in there in the lot. Always the sirens, people killing each other. Now I see families from Mexico and Cambodia and countries I don't know. 12 people sometimes in one apartment. New languages in the shops and on the street. These new people leave when they can, like the others. I'm the only one staying. It's so, staying and staring out the same window. This spring I looked out and I saw something strange. Down in the lot, a little black-haired girl hiding behind that refrigerator. She was working at the dirt and looking around suspiciously all the time. Then I realized she was burying something. I never had children of my own, but I've seen enough in that lot to know, Jeffrey, she was mixed up in something she shouldn't be. And after 20 years typing for a parole department, I just about knew what she buried. Drugs, most likely, or money or a gun. The next moment she disappeared like a rabbit. I thought of calling up the police. Then I saw her there the next morning and I decided I'd solve the case myself. We had a long spell of rain. Then I didn't see eyes on her once. Then the weather turned warm and I saw her twice more. Always in the morning on her way to school, she was crouched down with her back to me so I couldn't see what she was doing. My curiosity was like a fever inside me. Then one morning she was there, glancing about, and she looked straight up this window and I pulled my head back behind the curtain. I wasn't sure if she'd seen me. If she had, she wouldn't leave her treasure buried long. Then I knew I'd have to dig it up before she did. I waited an hour after she left, then I took an old butter knife and my cane and hobbled down all 3 flights of stairs. I worked my way through that awful jungle of junk and finally came to her spot. I stopped down. It was wet there and easy digging. I hacked and dug, but didn't find anything, except for a large white bean. I tried a new spot, and I found another, then a third. Then the truth of it slapped me full in the face. I said to myself, "What have you done?" 2 beans had roots. I knew I'd done them harm. I felt like I'd read through her secret diary and I'd ripped out a page without meaning to. I laid those beans right back in the ground as gently as sleeping babies, then I patted the soil as smooth as it could be. The next morning she was back. I peeked around the curtain. She didn't look up here or give any sign that she noticed something wrong. I could see her clearly this time. She reached a hand into her school bag, then she pulled out a jar, unscrewed the lid, and poured out water into the ground. That afternoon, I bought some binoculars. Alright, so those of you who have had Anna, I know that was a little longer of a chapter, but finish up writing those things down that you noticed. Yeah. Alright, and now we're going to have some time to turn and talk, okay, with a partner. So, people who have the same character, alright? If you have Kim, you're going to find someone who has Kim, which you should be sitting at a table with someone who has Kim. Or if you have Anna, okay, so you 3 will work together, you 2 will work together. And you're going to talk about things that you wrote down and maybe add a few more things looking in your text, okay? So I'll give you about 2 minutes or so. Talk about what you wrote down in your section, sorry, of Kim. Okay? Go ahead and discuss. Yeah, that's good. What are you guys thinking over here? What are some things you noticed about that?
I put she can't buy
Let Sophia talk. Yeah. Jace, what were some things you noticed?
She's bored of the camp, she is nosy, she wishes the other 2 were than herself, she makes them assumptions and nosy.
I like that a lot. Jeffrey, did you
Judge Kim by looking.
Yeah, she's very judgmental, right?
Yeah.
Very nice. So you can look in your text now, or you can talk with your group mates about things that you can notice. Alright, about 1 more minute.
I broke my own clothes already. Who never did that? She judges a book by its cover.
You don't like it?
Guys, for about 30 more seconds to finish those discussions.
R-A-C-I-S-T.
Jinx.
Jinx twice. I jinxed you first. You didn't see it.
She's racist.
Write down one. She's write down one. What? Write down one.
Yep.
I only wrote one word.
Alright, we're gonna be coming back in about 10 seconds.
You is one. You don't even know what that means. No.
Alright, we're and come look up at our easel over here, our Venn diagram. Voices are coming off now. I gave a few people Post-its. You can go ahead and come put those up with your character. I gave a few people Post-its, not everyone. Go ahead and put it up where it goes. A while ago. You guys can put it up. Yep.
Give me a ticket.
Alright, thanks for sitting down, Jeffrey.
I'm a I'm a
Jeffrey, do me a favor and sit down.
Oh, sorry. I forgot where my ticket.
Alright, so as we wrote down some things we noticed, right? We noticed those differences, or those contrasting things between Kim and Anna, okay? So we'll read the few we have up here so far, and then we're going to add a few more. So Kim, we have that her dad died. And who did this one? What does it say? What did you try to say? Honor. She tried to honor her dad, yeah. She honored her dad by planting those lima beans. And then under Anna, we had judge Kim by looking, so she's very judgmental. She is racist. Anna keeps making inferences and assumptions. Very nice. Okay, so we are going to add on. Who would like to give me some things they noticed who had Kim? Zaire. She supports her dad, right?
That she Kareem.
Alright, we're not calling out. Alright, who else would like to give me another one for Kim? Noelle, just do me a favor, guys, sit down.
Do you have an older sister? And uncle about me?
Yeah. Mel, you have one for Kim?
Yeah. There's no spring in Vietnam.
There's no spring? Okay. Let's have about one more or so. Arcadia. Plants lima beans, right? Alright, and she lost her dad, right? And she probably, what does she probably feel about that? How do you think she'd feel about losing her dad? Jeffrey? Sad, right? She might feel sad or lonely.
And I think she Kareem.
Lonely, she has lost someone, right? She feels a little lonely and sad. Alright,
I know how
and
she
then
feels.
what about for Anna? Okay, Jeffrey, we're sitting back here or we're focusing up here, okay? What are some things we noticed about Anna? Denasia?
That we basically see lots of history of kids.
She's seen a lot of history, right? Good job. Seen a lot of history. Does anyone else have another one for Anna? Sophia?
She thought a little girl was putting drugs in the ground.
She made an assumption there, right? She thought. Alright, does anyone have another one for Kim? For Anna, sorry. Zaire? Yeah. She is racist.
You already have that.
Okay. Alright, we can add it again. Anyone else for Anna? Amir?
Accusing a little girl.
She does, right? So she thought that she was accusing her with that word in there. Accusing, right? Yeah, this is very true. Alright, and And she's very nosy, right? She's very nosy. She looks out her window a lot. When someone's nosy and they take in a lot of things, you know, does anyone know what that word is, Jeffrey?
Wait, you said what? When they know this?
Anna's very nosy, right? She sees a lot of things in front of her. She's always noticing different things.
She always says somebody's getting it.
Yes, we're gonna be writing this down. I'll let you guys know that in a minute. But
And they go in the middle. They both lonely.
yeah, we're gonna do the similarities in a minute. So we can also say that Anna is very observant, right? She's nosy and observant. Don't worry about getting everything down here. But yeah, it's okay if you don't have enough space. Alright, so write down as many as you can see or remember hearing. We can also say that Anna is also lonely. Right? She's always alone in her apartment, looking out her window, seeing what else other people are doing. So just jot a few down. Okay? She's rude. Yeah, she is. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to write that. Well, you don't have to write everything. So if you already wrote Kim's side, then just write Anna's side, and just maybe add a few more things to Kim. If you wrote Anna's side, just add a few things to Kim's side. What's up, Louis? No, you don't. As long as you have a few of them. And finish writing Kim, right? So what'd you say? Alright, so just to run through them again, Kim, she supports her dad a lot. We're not doing that, guys. Alright. Sophia, we're up here. Jeffrey, we're up here. Okay. Kim supports her dad. She has a sister, no spring in Vietnam, which is a lot of things we've noticed, right? She plants lima beans. She's sad and lonely, and she has lost someone. Okay. And then on Anna's side, we've seen a lot of history on Gibb Street. She thought Kim was planting drugs. She was accusing her, right? And I know Jace over here had a good word. She said she was inferring what Kim was doing, right? She was making an inference. She is racist, observant, lonely. She's also lost someone, and she's alone all the time in her apartment, and she's rude.
She did.
Right, so jot a few things down. Alright, 30 more seconds to just finish up those last few. Just write a few of them down. Alright, finish up that last thing and put your pencils down. Alright, so Noelle has you one already for Sam. We just talked about the differences between Anna and Kim, right? Okay. In the middle, where those two circles come together, is where we're going to write the things that are same. Okay? Those similarity, or those comparing things between both Anna and Kim. Okay? Does anyone have something that is similar or the same there? They both are lonely. Very nice. So go ahead in the middle there, write down they're both lonely. lonely. Does anyone have another similarity or comparison? Jamel?
They both are like they lost somebody.
They both lost someone, right? Very nice. They both lost
A family
a
member.
loved one, we could say. You could say maybe they both are missing a loved one, they both lost a loved one. Denasia, do you have one?
That they both live on Gift Street.
They both live on Gift Street. There you go. Alright, so get those few similarities down. Few similarities down. Jeffrey, do me a favor, we're up here. Okay. You want to sit at the table there or turn your chair around?
Sorry, just I found your mama. There you go.
So those similarities or those comparisons between Kim and Anna are that they're both lonely, they both lost a loved one, and they live on Gift Street. Jace, do you have another one? Say it louder. They both do something in the garden, right? You can jot that one down too. They're both working in the community garden in different ways. That was a good point. Jeffrey, you have another point?
They both kind of plant lemons.
They do, right? Because Kim originally plants them, but then Anna goes and like messes them up, right? But then she makes sure that they're still doing good, right, throughout the time. All right, so get those last few things down. Then we're going to bump down to our last part of our lesson today. All right, on the back of your text, so either you have Kim or you have Anna, everyone has one of these. I want you to just look at that for a minute. You don't have to do anything with it right now, but just look at it, okay? It says compare, just look at it. It says comparing words. Some comparing words we can use. Comparing words, just for your information, those are the things that are similar or the same between those two characters. Some comparing words, we're over here, boys, okay? Could be similar, same, alike, both, as well as. So we could say that Kim and Anna both are lonely, right? We could say that Kim and Anna are alike because they both lost a loved one, okay? Now looking over at those contrasting words, those are the differences between Kim and Anna, okay? We have different, but, alike, however, okay? So we could say Kim and Anna are different because, and then we would say two reasons that they are different, okay? We could say that Kim has a sister, however, Anna doesn't. Okay. Lewis? Yeah. Okay. So for the last part of the lesson today, where it says at the bottom 1 and 2, and remember some of you guys have these filled out a little bit, so you're just going to see what I write up here, okay? For the rest of you, we're going to write, I'm going to model this sentence for you, okay? Hold on, Jeffrey. Alright, we're writing at number 1 there. One way that both characters are similar. And then you're going to write a short sentence how both characters are similar. Okay, if you would not like to write the word similar, we can look at this chart again. Okay, under comparing words, and you can use the words similar, same, alike, both, as well as. Okay, we're writing that at number 1. Yep, number 1 at the bottom, we're writing one way that both characters are similar. And then you're going to look at your chart and write one way. This is independent time then. You're going to write down one way that both characters are similar. So go ahead and jot that down. One way that both characters are similar. Zaire, you're just going to write down how they're similar.
You have to get it on the this chart?
You can if you'd like. If you don't want to use the word similar, okay, you can also use a different word under comparing, because we're comparing the two right now. Either similar or the same. Alright, and go ahead and write your response to how these two characters, Kim and Anna, are similar. Not right now. Jeffrey, did you get this written down, buddy? Alright, we'll talk about that after. Alright, and for those of you who are ready, I'm going to write the number 2. This is where we're going to write how they are different. I'm going to write it in blue so you guys can see. One way that both characters are different. So remember to look at your Venn diagram as you're writing your responses. This is for number 2. We're going to write that one way that both characters are different. And then you're going to write your response how these two characters, Anna and Kim, are different. Alright? If you don't want to use the word different, you can refer to your chart here and looking at contrasting words, and you can use the words different, but, unlike, however. Okay, so you can use this one up here, or you can create your own sentence. Giving tickets to those who are finishing up. Go ahead and finish them.
And now we gotta write a way why both of them are different.
Yeah, so first you're going to write at number 1.
Can I put they both are different races?
So you gotta think about it in your head. It's single handed. You can tell me that. You can say that. Okay. Yeah, you can write whatever you think.
So how do I spell it?
Go ahead and write your 2 sentences in a row, okay? These ones too. That's fine. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna write those 2 sentences at the bottom there.
I can't even do it.
Okay, alright, I'll move it over. Jeffrey, you're writing one way that they are similar. Jeffrey, move past it. One way that they are similar. Okay, and write one way that they are different.
I know.
Just again, we're writing one way that both characters are similar and one way that they are different. Remember, you can refer to those charts you have if you want to come up with your own sentence.